Right, hello and welcome everyone to our live coverage of yet another best of 3 series between the Warriors of Æsir and the Doomscrollers. Unfortunately, the previous regular season best of 3 did not go WA's way, but we will be cheering and hoping here for a better outcome. This is once again a best of 3, but this time a playoffs knockout round matchup. See the draft already developing. Bans have come out. Pretty familiar bans from the Doomscrollers, just about the same as in the first series. On the other hand, WA with some adaptations here. The Maokai that was such a challenge to deal with, now gone. Pretty quick draft here. So the Jarvan and the Malzahar in Misfortune. So all definitely popular picks for WA. Certainly we've talked about before the idea to kind of build a sort of Misfortune comp. Now some of you have perhaps seen different lineups for WA. It is the usual full squad of Mellow in top lane, Fuldmather in the jungle, Ulfbald mid lane, Icewing AD carry, and Supank support that will be rolling out today in this best of 3. Corki, Poppy, and Cassante, which was banned against Doomscrollers in the last series, now left open. And a fair number of top lane bans being thrown out here against Mellow. His favored Renekton taken away, and the Volley Bear, which both Fuldmather and Mellow have been comfortable with, flexing, taken off the table. And this is interesting. So Smolder comes out, and you wonder then if that Corki pivots mid into Ulfbald's Malzahar, which was picked in response to the Corki, or if they send the Smolder mid instead. That I'm not certain on, but the Zac locked in here, and we're not really in the age of Jarvan top, so that should be the Zac top for Mellow, with his champion pool squeezed a bit. The Aatrox, something he likes a lot, as well as the Zac, Cho'Gath on occasion. Does go for the Zac, and then the Nautilus paired bot lane there with Misfortune, so a absolutely ridiculous amount of crowd control here for the Warriors of Æsir. And the final red side pick here for Doomscrollers in response. They'll need a support unless they do opt for the Poppy support, which they very well might. In which case they need a jungler. Okay, so the Sejuani does come out. I should really have some of my scouting sheets open here. My apologies, it's kind of got my OBS and all my materials together here pretty quick. See if I can get this pulled up. So the Sejuani coming out should send that Poppy down support, but to be honest, we're still not 100% certain on where we're going to be seeing all these different champions. My guess would be to see the Smolder mid, just because DS Carry has played a lot of that Corki bot to pretty great success. So that would be a Corki Poppy there in the bot lane. We will have to wait and see until we loaded the Rift here in a few minutes to find out exactly where all these champions are going. WA, pretty big team fight, massive amount of crowd control, trying to build this Misfortune comp. We'll fall back on his classic Malzahar. We head now to a quick break. When we return, game number 1, WA versus DS. Don't miss it. And welcome to the Rift. We're here for game number 1 of the Warriors of Æsir versus the Doomscrollers. This is a playoff knockout best of 3. Winner moves on to the next round of the Style Esports playoffs. Loser is out. WA already lost 1 series to the Doomscrollers last week. Hopefully they have learned from it, made some adaptations. Nothing too crazy here. Level 1 as a line of scrimmage is drawn. The Smolder mid here. And now Mello and Ulfald look for an invade, but it is going to be caught out, and they're going to be down a man if Lupin does come in. So Ulf will be here, Mello will be here. And we'll see. There is the spell shield gone for Ulf. He's going to have to flash if Eulerfan takes E first. And maybe Ulf just holds the flash. Now goes for it, but a flash follow. One more auto would do it. First blood goes to Kuzu. Flash for Flash, the mid laners, and DS takes the kill. Ill-fated warding adventure there from the Warriors of Æsir. Not a great way to start the series. And Kuzu will not have a chance to recall here. That was DS Carry who went back. Ulfold holding the flash till the last second. Almost made it out. Unfortunately, Mello and Foldmather not able to run enough interference either. Now, Ulfold beginning this laning phase down a substantial amount of gold at the very least. Will still have the spell shield, whereas Kuzu will not have the flash. Although once Smolder hits level 3, it becomes a lot more difficult to gank. Mello already with the first level 2 ding there by Lupin. Mello taking so much damage, might have the passive popped. And apparently we're checking back in the mid lane here, but I was curious there. Mello needs quite a few more minions here to hit level. There he goes. Okay. So actually picking up quite a few minions here. Lupin not able to last hit a couple of those. Eulerfan at level 3 now going for an invade. Going to run right into Foldmather, and we'll see here. Blue buff already started, but Fold is going to find it and be level 3 as well. Euler's smite coming up and Fold, and I'm curious about this. Directed camera seemingly is not. Eulerfan about to smite it away and does, and they've just snuck it out now. Unfortunately, the heist is already complete, and DS's jungler takes away the blue sentinel. There by Kink, and Supang takes about half of a health bar. I wonder as well if some of WA aren't a little bit rusty here. You hope maybe nerves will settle and they'll get a little warmed up as the game goes on. Nice love tap there from Icewing, and now a pull. Ignite onto the Corki. Huge stun there by the Poppy to make sure Icewing cannot follow up. They do get the barrier, and now Poppy might have to flash here. Icewing, I wonder if he looks for the love tap. Oh, barely, not enough damage. Tried to find it, ends up burning the summoner and not able to find anything. And actually, Poppy still has the flash. Meanwhile, mid lane, silence here on Kuzu. Does not have flash. One more auto should do it. Foldmather with a kill credit. Now Ignite here on the Supang, trying to turn it back around to the Poppy. Flashing away is DS's support, who will be okay. And now Icewing could be in trouble. One more auto with the stun. And Icewing does have the barrier. We'll see. Just trying to bait them in. And actually, Icewing maybe can threaten. Yeah, DS hesitates to push that any further. But all in all, we're looking at a 1-for-1 across the map. A nice play mid, capitalizing on that flashless Smolder. And bot lane so close to being better for WA, but not quite able to kill either Corki or Poppy. Flashless, though, are the bot lane of Doomscrollers. Supang has his flash, so he could look for a play there. Foldmather as well still will have that flash EQ combo. So we'll see if they potentially make a play down that direction. Here's top lane for all the fuss I made about Mello losing a lot of health early on. Now doing just fine even in CS. Although again taking a lot of damage. Okay, here we go. Icewing. One hook there and still flash available for Supang. And now Foldmather looking, doesn't even finish off those final Krugs. We'll see if they stop that recall. Don't even need to. My boot does it for them. Now Fold starting up the Drake. Ward would spot him out if he comes in through the river. Gotta be careful. Lupin has the ultimate, and he is gonna take the Zac away from the turret. Mellow slingshot doesn't go far. Lupin flash follows, is gonna proc that passive. Hook does not connect. Now Lupin needs a bit more. He's gonna be close to killing Mellow on the Zac, but not quite. One, maybe two more autos. Mellow trying to get it back under the turret, but the shield's just too much. And the Zac does fall. Now Supank looking for that stun, and Supank takes the kill here onto the Poppy. Fall very low on mana, but staying even in CS. Unfortunate for Mellow. Did use the flash previously. I don't think we saw when. Maybe could have tried to for a play there if he had the summoner spell available. Instead, it is a kill to Lupin, who had been looking for it, it seems like, from minute one. And Eulerfan, in response to that Hextech Drake being secured by WA, does take all of Foldmaster's jungle. Okay, flash, and there is the ultimate. Here comes Eulerfan, ultimate from Kuzu follows. Healing up, flash back by the Smolder. Now Foldmaster could be in trouble, tries to flash to get back towards Ulfbald. Damage over time is big, though, a little bit more. No flashes available now, though, for WA, and they're not able to find anything else. Ulfbald's still pretty healthy. Okay, stun, and this could be trouble for Supank. Flashes away, Ignite Burn on him, Ice Wing, walking back. Barrier will be up soon. DS Carry has no mana at all. And once again, a fight bot lane, but no blood shed. Ulfbald and Foldmather both burning flashes. The same for their counterparts on the Doomscrollers, but also no kills. Playoff nerves all around. Kuzu taking a lot of damage here. Ulfbald looking for a Q, a bit more into it. Oh no, he goes under the turret. He's gonna die though. Oh no. Does he know Kick My Boot is coming? He's got to get back away. Oh, one more auto would do it. Ah, that's where you passive aggressive ping. Wonder if the Mia pings did come in there, but a great roam by DS's support. Secures that kill onto Ulfbald, and the Void Grubs as well, taken by Eulerfan. 1.5k gold lead for the Doomscrollers. WA, a couple of small victories, but overall a rough start here in game number 1 of this best of 3. We'll have another chance, but this is the playoffs. Winner takes all, knockout. Loser is done in Style Esports for this split. WA wasn't able to beat the Doomscrollers in their first series in the regular season. Trying to fix things here in the playoffs, but not looking great to start with. DS Carry. Foldmaster actually disconnects here. Okay, ultimate here by Lupin takes Mellow away from the turret again. Eulerfan is looking to come in, and Mellow has the flash already burned and still dies. Supank looking for a hook there onto DS's support, not able to find it. Does have the ultimate here and could use it, and I think my boot will just die here. Flashes away. Will there be a follow? Might not be necessary. Ultimates from Supank and Ice Wing, and the bullet time finishes that one off. First kill of the game. The WA's AD carry. They'll take what they can get at this point. The rest of the map not doing well. 0-2 for both mid lane and support. Still lurking, but DS Carry has flash and barrier, and the dredge line will not find the Corki. Just looking for something here, and actually pretty low. Knight is back up now for Kick My Boot. He's going to look for the stun, not going to find it on the Foldmaster. Cataclysm is available. Ice Wing pushing DS Carry back into the turret. Here comes Eulerfan. No ultimate for the Sejuani. Yes, use top. Ignite on the Foldmaster. Cataclysm in, but there's no support. Needs one more auto, but nobody was there. And Foldmaster dies. Ulfbald pushing Kuzu back. Sitting on a ward, though. Now, again, Kick My Boot comes in. Ultimate onto Ulfbald. A little bit more. Gotta be careful. Mellow top lane has the ultimate, but will just die under the turret to loop in the third kill. Now for the Cassante. Kick My Boot again with a mid lane roam. Still looking here. But it's 7-3, and WA is hemorrhaging gold across the map. Actually, King My Boot just messing with Full Mather here around the Raptors. Might pay for it. We'll see if he takes him on an adventure here and might actually be able to execute. Icewing is looking. If he can throw an E out, he should be fine. And he does get it. Nice little spectator. Can't actually see the exact hitbox there, but it's pretty sure the Make It Rain connected, and it did. So at least a little bit more gold here. Getting Icewing close to that Bloodthirster, and a flash from Wolfbald will finish off Kuzu. Finally, WA's Malzahar is on the board. And a couple of mistakes here from the Doomscrollers, maybe getting a little bit overconfident. Second strike of the game is on the table here for Full Mather, and we'll check where that's at. 4,000 gold. Euler Fan could investigate here. Icewing already here, and Euler Fan coming in now. Have the ultimate and is just waiting at a vision. Maybe you can look for a steal. Now is spotted, but it is Full Mather's smite. That does hit true. Nice dredge line here. They're trying to find the Sejuani. Here comes the big bullet time from Icewing, and that's going to be 2. 1 to Supank. The bot lane of WA with 5 of their 7 kills. Flash from Supank, but not able to find DS Carry. Here comes Full Mather. Cataclysm gets the flash on the Kuzu. Now Full Mather could be the next target, and he will die. Icewing chasing DS Carry. Barrier available. Might need it. Under the turret he goes. One more auto, and he finds it. Icewing kill number 4, and the Warriors of Æsir's misfortune with a fantastic couple of fights, fantastic couple of minutes. Meanwhile, top lane Mellow really struggling here, down 50 CS, and again the same recipe. If it ain't broke, don't fix it for Lupin on the Cassante. Once again, just takes Mellow away from the turret and finds kill 4. Kink My Boot able to cruise over to a minion to get out of dodge. You can see already the damage from Icewing, who is sitting on a massive amount of gold, by the way, will have a Bloodthirster and change on this next recall. Supank, though, is still looking. WA, little do they know. More Void Grubs being taken top lane, so there's no jungle support, and they don't care. Icewing gonna go in, and you wonder what Kink My Boot was thinking there. Maybe just trying to bluff that Sejuani was in the area. Fortunately, it is Supank that takes the kill once again. Looking again for a dredge line is Supank. Does not have the depth charge. Will have that in about 10. And finally, the recalls come through from WA's bot laners, and we will see what kind of treasure trove they can pick up from Boris there. Bloodthirster, Swifties for Icewing. Will be nice against the Corki just in lane. Make sure those missiles aren't hurting him for too long. Top lane, though, for Mellow here. A complete disaster for Team WA. Slingshot gets Mellow back under the turret. He does have his flash now. That could be crucial. If Lupin does try the old recipe again. Cataclysm here to Kink My Boot. Forces the flash out of the Poppy. Full Mather getting a lot of payoff for those ultimate cooldowns. Keep in mind, 2 Drakes as well for WA. They are down just shy of 2,500. And that's top lane turret dangerously close to falling, and Mellow 2 levels down, hardly in a position to defend it. Wolfwald looking at Kuzu. Doesn't have the flash, but you know he would not shy away. Now, once again, the ultimate from Lupin. Mellow has to flash over the wall. Flash followed by Lupin. And the Zac once again the target. Meanwhile, Supank, it's a good bullet time. A nice depth charge here from Supank. They need a little bit more damage, though. Can they find Kink My Boot, who actually has the Mikhail's Crucible already itemizing towards that Malzahar, and Full Mather still looking. Maybe can find Kink My Boot. Cataclysm not quite up, needs a bit more. And now in the middle of 3, so many low health bars, but can WA find anything? No. And now Wolfwald, again, looking for that ultimate, chasing him. We'll see who we can find here. And you wonder, just a little more coordination from WA's bot lane, mid lane, and jungle, if they could have found at least 1 or 2 kills there with the cooldowns and the crowd control. Fortunately, flash burned by Ulf there, and they find nothing, and Supank dies for it.
Got it.
And we'll have a small window here where the Michaelis is not up for Kick My Boot. And the Storm is, and they're going to make use of it now. No flash on the Poppy. Ulfbald with that kill. Kuzu taking a lot of damage. Maybe an auto and a Q from Fold could find it, a smite, but healing in the flash from Foldmather to at least secure it, but he will die to Euler. Ulfbald without the ultimate. I don't even know that Supank actually teleport burned here, knowing that Lupin is already here, but the Cassante will have that TP advantage for a few minutes now. We'll see if that comes into play. And the Kales will be coming up in time for Ulfbald's next Nether Grasp. Cloud Drake is here, Lupin is here, and finally the rest of Team WA can experience this Giga-Fed Cassante. All of them down 2, 3, 4 levels. Lupin taking Ice Wing away. No flash for the Misfortune, but does have the barrier. Needs to get back into the turret. Knocks towards Cassante. Bullet time, not going to do too much. Foldmather finally here, but no Cataclysm. WA, nobody dies, but the health bars take a beating, and that could mean Cloud Drake for the Doomscrollers. Wonder if WA might have to make the wise choice to just give this up. Stun here for Kink My Boot. Supank, Ice Wing, gonna do a bit of damage there to that Poppy, who's only level 6. Needs a couple of autos here, maybe a shutdown and Cassante on the table. No! The Keeper's Verdict is gonna knock Supank away. Flash burn, Nether Grasp here, Ulfbald onto Euler fan. They are gonna take down the Sejuani, but DS Carry and Kuzu are firing. Mello knocked into the passive. Supank and Foldmather both falling. Mello gonna make it 3, and it is DS Carry with kill credit. Lupin taking a lot of damage here. Ulfbald, they need to get back on the turret, but Ice Wing is scared of getting stunned into the wall. Ignite here onto the Misfortune. Ulfbald goes back out of the turret. Now there's 4 members threatening to dive onto this Malzahar, and they are able to juggle the aggro, and Lupin even finds Ice Wing to make it a delayed ace here for the Doomscrollers. Kick My Boot actually dies, but unfortunately it is an execute. And overall, just a horrific turn of events for WA here. They finally lose a turret. That's 2 taken by the Doomscrollers top and bot. And a bunch of kills going over, and they're not able to get that shutdown onto Lupin, who is teleporting right in, but I don't think he has anything to be afraid of. 4 levels up on WA's jungler. The Cloud Drake was not taken, but small consolation for WA as the Misfortune Ice Wing dies. They're able to at least kill Euler fan, but they don't even get kill credit onto the Poppy, and not able to get that shutdown. That has to be next on their minds, trying to take down this Cassante, who already has 2.5 items. 6-0 is Lupin. Cloud Drake indeed will go over to the Doomscrollers. WA is able to grab that Rift Herald, so nice little cross map play. At least getting something here in the situation you're in. Here we go, another Dredgeline on the Kick My Boot. Flash burn by the Poppy. That'll be it for now. Ice Wing shifting mid. Supank. Gotta be careful, both support so squishy. Only level 8 is the Nautilus. Mello coming in, Supank going away. Kuzu with the stacks, burns down. The Warriors of Ice Sport now Foldmather the next target, stun into stun, and Euler fan picks up that kill. WA may have gotten Kick My Boots flash, but Doomscrollers make them pay for it with 2 kills back and a 6,000 gold lead. Kuzu so lethal now with those stacks, and Ice Wing could be the next target. Has barrier but not flash, and it's Euler fan on the Sejuani tanking with a ridiculous level of HP. Easily they take down Ice Wing, who is left alone there in mid. Now Euler fan looks to exact a further toll from Foldmather's jungle. Lupin taking a lot of damage here from Ulfwald's Malzahar in the side lane. Now they look to contest the red, but meanwhile Supank is all alone in mid and might just die with the bird here. Yes! Kuzu finds the kill. Meanwhile, Cataclysm from Fullmather. They do take down Eulerfan. But WA, the best they can do is just get some small morsel back after losing multiple fights elsewhere. Fullmather looking but not able to find a play here, and he finds a Cassante who, like anyone on WA, wants to mess with. Teleport by Kuzu heading top. Otacon potentially the next target for the Doomscrollers. Vision pushed deep into the Warriors of Æsir's blue side jungle. You question if WA could afford to contest this, even if they wanted to. They do have this control ward here, but those will get cleared out in a hurry. Flash is available for everyone but Icewing and WA, and Ulfwald could be the next target. Gotta be careful. I think if that spell shield was popped by Kuzu, then they look for maybe an all-out from Lupin. Supank could be the next target here. Both teams scuffling over vision, and that battle certainly being won by the Doomscrollers, up 7,000 gold now. Redline won't connect, and now Fullmather's here, Ulfwald is here, but so tanky, this Sejuani. And now they're going to look for Kink by Boot, maybe a bit more damage. The Mikhail's burned. Poppy will slink away, burning down, but a bit of HP left. Here comes Kuzu, though, and Fullmather is dead. It's a nice bullet time from Icewing. Not quite enough for the kill, though. Keeper's Verdict channeled, Mellow knocked away. Lupin coming in, Supank could be the first target. Ulfwald, no spell shield. All out available for Lupin. Not used just yet, but WA lose their jungler. Supank is so low. I mean, a stray fireball from Kuzu would take him down. Hello, slingshot in, won't find anybody. So low is the Poppy DS carry as well. You wonder if they can find a play. I mean, that's why they're sticking around. They hope maybe, if they're very fortunate, Nether Grasp still available for Ulfwald if they can grab Lupin. Mikhail's on cooldown. Meanwhile, Kuzu, though, top lane picks up that turret. You can see Ulfwald's damage. Very respectable. Okay, DS carry flashes away from the Cataclysm. There's another grasp onto the Cassante, who's so tanky, flashes away himself. WA is still chasing, slowing him down. Flag and drag, and the kill, you gotta give it to MF, but they can't afford to. All out by Lupin. And Supank, does he know there's a Poppy right there if he stops it in time? No, not quite, but that is a lot of gold. Goes over to Fullmather. Here comes the Rift Herald. Supank pops in the driver's seat. Need a bit more to take down this turret. Kuzu, a lot of damage here. No Cataclysm for Fullmather. They can't really push further onto the Smolder, and Supank could be in trouble. Another auto or two. Silence from Ulfwald. Big. Now Fullmather could be stunned, could be the next target. A couple autos here. Kuzu finds one, the rest of WA is so low, making it double for the Smolder. Ulfwald gonna be the next on the chopping block. DS carry chasing him and finds that kill. 3 more kills to Team DS and WA. In complete disarray as Icewing scurries back to base. Hoping to heal up in the fountain. DS secure another turret to make it 10,000. Their lead. A Drake gonna go over to them as well. And you see how useful the Poppy is here. There's a nice bullet time again, but just not quite enough damage here from Icewing. Needs his oh, the damage is massive onto Icewing, though. Barely survives that, and I think was extremely surprised from the crits coming in. And Supank, Dredgeline not quite connecting. Here comes Fullmather. They need a bit more. Depth charge onto Kuzu. Can they find the Smolder flashless? Fullmather burning down. One more auto from DS carry would finish him off. Supank, Dredgeline needs a little bit more onto the Smolder, and he will take down Kuzu. But WA, even when they're able to get these kills, it's only by just flinging bodies at the opposing team over and over and over again. Lupin happily taking this turret. Ice Wing has flash, might need to use it. Back on the turret he goes. Ulflud coming in. Has the Nether Grass. Mello is here as well. Supank coming around behind and will be looking. No depth charge, but maybe a good dredge line here. We'll be looking for the Cassante. No, they don't even fish. For now, that'll be it. Although Lupin almost wants them to try it. Silence here onto the Cassante, and actually good timing there because the rest of Doomscrollers did recall. Let's see if Lupin has an outplay here. The silences from Ulfald are stopping him from doing too much of those Cassante things. He goes all out, taking a ton of damage with those resistances gone, but so is Supank, and Lupin still alive here, buying so much time. WA doesn't have the damage. Silence again. They need to burn down the Cassante. Oh no, they've already taken down one. This Lupin. Now Ulfald the next target. Supank running away. Level 16. Lupin. Ulfald doing his best, trying here, but they cannot defeat this Cassante. And Lupin 1 versus 3 finds 2 kills and sends Supank retreating back. Meanwhile, Foldmather and Ice Wing were in a 2 versus 4 there top side. Foldmather died, which means a free Baron to the Doomscrollers at this point. WA has to be talking about game 2. 13,000 gold, the deficit. Atacon coming up next. There is some bright points for the Warriors of Æsir. Ice Wing and Supank got a couple of kills around those Drakes secured by Foldmather. Cassante, an absolute menace here, and Kuzu hitting that break point. Getting that Elder Dragon passive on the Smolder. And WA has barely been able to threaten DS, who almost seem like they're playing with their food at this point. Just going as aggressive as they feel like. And again, here comes Lupin, 1 versus 3. Not worried about those odds. It might turn into a 1 versus 4, but Kink My Boot is on the way. And regardless, I don't think Lupin is afraid whatsoever. Supank, a lot of damage. Foldmather coming in. There's another grasp onto the Cassante, but in the span of all of it, they can barely even damage him all out. He takes Foldmather into the waiting arms of DS Carry. Eulerfan picks up the kill. Mello versus Kuzu, top lane. The burn. Kuzu takes down the Zac. Supank taken down by DS Carry. It's kill number 8 now for the Corki. And the Doomscrollers have 3 kills. 5 versus 2 play on the map, and they could be threatening the end here. They have Baron buff, and there's not a lot Ulfald and Ice Wing can do. Bullet Time will have to come out from this fortune here to try to clear out these minions. Recall channeled by Ice Wing, and we'll see what he can do. Maybe if he aims it well. Kink My Boot's taking a lot of damage there, and he does get the kill out of the Poppy, but meanwhile, Eulerfan jumps in and takes down Ice Wing. Ulfald, the last man standing. The burn, he could die in Fountain. In comes Lupin. Eulerfan gonna fall to Foldmather. No, not quite. Not before the Nexus explodes. And the Doomscrollers take WA down in game number 1. A rough start here for the Warriors of Æsir. You can see Ulfald dishing out the damage highest in the game, but the story of so much of these fights was just WA not quite able to coordinate, not able to secure those kills. Not until they'd already lost most everybody and given up a massive gold lead, but we'll head now to a quick break. When we return, it's game number 2. WA backs against the wall in this playoffs best of 3 series. They need a win here to stay alive. We'll find out if they can do it. And we're back here for game number 2. It's the Doomscrollers once again on red side. The Warriors of Æsir on blue in this best of 3 playoff-style esports showdown. WA already down 1-0. They need 2 wins in a row to move on and stay alive in the playoffs. And thus far, not a lot of adaptations. The Poppy actually banned away by WA. Bit of a surprise. It seemed like Kick My Boot, while being very aggressive and disruptive, was also the one most likely to be killed by WA, but clearly the Warriors of Æsir are feeling the impact of Team DS's support. However, the rest of the draft looking like a salty run back. WA again prioritizing the Jarbin first pick, and Doomscrollers responding again with the Corky. Talk of the draft for WA has got to be how do they approach mid lane and top lane in particular. Lupin on the Cassante absolutely had his way with the Warriors of Æsir in game 1, but an adaptation from DS. They do pick up the Xin Zhao early for Euler fan, who actually had the final pick in game 1 where they threw the Sejuani in. Now, early 80 carry in jungle secured by Doomscrollers. Knowing that Corky is likely to be bought again, we'll see if Misfortune appears here for Icewing. Yep. Oh, covering potentially a Xayah. And WA taking the full time on that. You wonder if that was potentially one of those. There's a lot of discussion happening in draft, and WA not necessarily being on the same page and sort of having a last-minute pick. But the Misfortune comes in once again. Could just be a cheeky hover, too. Not trying to read too much into it. Misfortune locked in here for Icewing. We need a blind here from WA, and the Janna would be a major departure here, but it is going to be the Rakan. This is one Supank has had a lot of success with. Obviously an aggressive player, but has that advantage of being able to jump in and get back out. A little bit more mobility and safety when he goes on a warding adventure. Explains the Xayah hover that maybe they were considering a Xayah Rakan combo, but ultimately decide only the Rakan part's what they're looking for. But bad news for WA and Mello, as Lupin's Cassante is going to be making a return here in game 2. At least WA able to ban away Kuzu's Smolder, assuming that is what they lock in here. Yeah. DS sticking with the same bans, however. They do take the Malzahar away, so a small change again here from the Doomscrollers. No Malzahar for Ulfold, no Smolder for Kuzu. We're going to have a fresh mid lane matchup, and the Syndra looking like the final ban here in game 2. WA, you wonder if the thought courses through their heads that this could be the last time they have a pick and ban phase in style esports. These are the champions they're going to be piloting here with everything on the line. We'll need a mid laner and we'll need a top laner. Alistar with the Poppy band away. It is going to be the Alistar support there for Kick by Boot. Now, Ulfold hovering the Lux. I know he has liked it before, but it's been frankly a controversial pick. I know there's been discussions behind the scenes about how much they like it in team comp, but Ulfold has had tremendous performances on the champion. He's going to need another one here in game number 2. He's locked it in. So a lot of range damage here. But maybe a little bit more vulnerable to ganks there in mid lane without the assistance of that spell shield. We'll see what this final pick is going to be. The Zac open, but certainly... And it is actually locked in again, so Mello bringing this pick right back into Lupin's Cassante. I don't know if I agree with it. cheering for WA here. We'll have to hope that that laning phase goes a lot differently. But I think with the Poppy off the table, certainly that heroic presence just really preventing Foldmather and Mello from getting into the fight. Even Supank as well. So they won't have to deal with that this time, but at the same time, you know, the Alistar pick there for DS does some of the same stuff. I mean, you can't get everyone out of there, but certainly with the headbutt, the pulverize, Take My Boot can be very disruptive. But the Kassadin going to be locked in here into the Lux for Kuzu, who seems to favor the scaling here. Again, a champion that hits a certain point where he's just about impossible to deal with, but will require Kuzu to go a little bit more aggressive here. But DS as a whole has not shied away from doing that. So a couple of new faces here, a couple of familiar ones for both teams. Rooting for the Warriors of Æsir here. We'll have to hope that the changes, the adaptations, whether in draft or in game, are enough to keep them alive. They've got to win here in game 2. DS already up 1-0. WA backs against the wall, has to stay alive in the playoffs. We head to a break now. When we return, we find out if they can do it. Welcome back, everyone. Here we go for what could be the final game for the Warriors of Æsir in the Style Esports League. We certainly hope not. They already dropped their first series, Doomscrollers, in the regular season. Here in the playoffs, they've dropped game 1. It's best of 3. They'll need to rip off 2 wins in a row to stay alive. Draft. Misfortune, the Jarvan, and the Zac return for WA. But Ulfold with the Malzahar band away, opts to the Lux. Here comes Fan.
Minions have spawned.
And remember, game number 1 started off in a rather poor fashion for the Warriors of Æsir as Ulfold and Mello invaded for an early ward down around the Raptors. And Ulfold lost his flash and his life as a result. This time, nothing so dramatic. Ulfold with the most damage in the game in game number 1, and Kuzu on the Smolder, particularly once he hit that 225 break point. Is absolutely roasting the Warriors of Æsir. Certainly will have her eyes on mid lane, but also top, where Lupin was able to exact a terrible toll from Mello, repeatedly killing him, building up a giant CS lead, and then proceeding to 1v3 or 1v4 Team WA across the map. In the same matchup, we'll see if Mello produce a different outcome now. Junglers, opposite sides here, both opting for that bramble back beginning. And Mello already pushed in. No wards currently for Lupin, but he might change that soon. Let's see if Fullmather does path that direction. Mello already losing about half his health. He is Zac, so it's not as bad as it looks, but it looks pretty bad. That was a nice poke around mid. Meanwhile, we'll be looking bot lane to see if Paint My Boot tries to set up a gank here for Fan. Here they go. They don't even wait for the Xin Zhao. Supank responding. Trading back. WA just maybe by a hair coming out on the top in that trade. And Light Binding doesn't connect onto Kuzu. And you know, if it did, that would have at least been a flash with Goldmather hovering. Now, nicely done by Supank with the grand entrance. Ice Wing. Throwing a couple of bullets their way, and maybe making Kink My Boot recall, although those of you who watched game number 1, you know that rarely is everything as it seems with Team DS's support, but this time actually does complete the recall. Leaving DS carry alone, not worried about the Corki. And Goldmather still hovering mid, and actually cancels the recall, looking again. No mana on the Lux, and actually, Fan is taking Fullmather's jungle and now comes in for a gank. Ulfold, though, with no mana, even with the luxury. Oh, nice Light Binding, though. Need one more auto there. Fullmather. Oh, but the first blood goes over to Fan, and WA's jungler not able to find Kuzu flash for flash. And despite WA maybe being aware of that, setting up a counter gank, again, it all goes wrong. Again, Ulfold the first to die. Just not how WA wanted things to begin here in a game 2 that they have to win. You can see Kink My Boot, who had a couple of impactful roams mid, is looking that way once again, just clearing out a ward. And actually sticking around. Ulfold flashless. This could be trouble here in mid lane. Wisely, he paths back towards the river, and he'll be okay. Mello just taking a beating here from Lupin, already down 20 plus CS. And again, King My Boot is coming in. Just Ulfold cannot catch a break here. It's a nice light binding onto the Alistar, though. And Ulfold, you know he's not happy about this. This support just in his lane 24/7 this series. But twice now, he faces down death and survives. Ice Swing and carry. Doing a little trading there in bot lane, but nothing too crazy just yet. With that Infernal Drake available, though, we could have more bot lane action next couple of minutes here. Pings by WA onto the Void Grubs, and maybe looking for those. Both Mana and top are quite shoved into them right now. On the other hand, Ice Wing is coming in bot lane. Gotta get out of here very quickly. King My Boot is on the way. WA's AD carry senses it, and will get back to safety. Meanwhile, WA picking up these Void Grubs, no problem. 1, 2, and Eulerfan on the opposite side of the map has yet to start the Drake. Actually, Ice Wing is kind of just trying to double check that. Could be a risky path. No, he's fine. Eulerfan again has just been living in Foldmather's Raptor Pit, and now knows he certainly can do it, and certainly with push in every lane. First dibs onto that Drake, and oh no, Ice Wing could be a dive. Hard to do. They need somebody to tank. Eulerfan has the Crescent Guard. Here comes Kick My Boot trying to tank this. Soupbank has got to get in here right now. Now this could be it. Flash, both supports. In comes Eulerfan. Ice Wing flashing back over the turret. They need help, but it's on the way. This could be big for WA. It's a huge light binding. Ulfold. Final spark. In goes Foldmather. Crescent Guard. Eulerfan is low. Foldmather finds the kill. Kick My Boot. Flashless is next up, and Ice Wing finds that kill. WA 2-1. It's a huge fight bot. And that could be Drake, so they get the Void Grubs. They go back down bot lane. Ice Wing and Soupbank survive the dive. They find 2 kills, and now an Infernal Drake is theirs for the taking. A very different tune for the Warriors of Icy here in Game 2. One thing I note here is Soupbank not only opted for the Guardian, but also the Exhaust here on the Rakan. So while we know him as an aggressive player, I think definitely keeping in mind the Cassante, the Xin Zhao, the Kassadin, all these divers, and wanting to help disrupt them, buy a little more time for this squishy backline. Meanwhile, though, Soupbank is just gunned down by a level 6 Corki. DS carry finds that kill. Mello not doing too bad here in top lane. Be careful, though. Lupin has the all-out and could look. Mello has no flash. Must have used it just mere moments ago, and now this could be it. Lupin looking for the kill. Let's bounce, says Mello. All out goes Lupin, and the damage might be too much for the Zac Bloblets to survive, and it is. 3 kills and a feat of warfare over to the Doomscrollers. Eulerfan continues to run rampant here in Foldmather's jungle, and after a great play bot, now all of a sudden WA gives up 2 more kills. Soupbank will be looking for that level 6, and Ulfold, final spark, a lot of damage on the Alistar. Doesn't have the flash, although you wonder if he'd even want to burn it just for that kill. Boy, after game number 1, you know, okay, Soupbank, nice roam, gets the Great Entrance, needs a little bit more, maybe a Gleaming Quill, an auto attack, he's still chasing this Alistar. Oh, and the Blast Cone is gonna get him away, so twice Kink My Boot slinks away on a blinking red health bar, just as so many of Team DS did in game 1, and WA, that was the story of that game, and they have to hope that they can secure more of those kills this time, or it's just gonna be more of the same. Mello taking so much damage here from Lupin, down 30 CS right now. And we'll have to see. Directed Camera very interested in this top lane fight. Meanwhile, Ulfold teleports back to mid. not too much on the table right now with the Void Grubs. Will be spawning soon. We'll see if WA has another miracle. Meanwhile, Foldmather looking bot. Here comes the Jarvan and the Cataclysm and the bullet time. Gets Icewing that kill. Euler fan coming in. Flash. Looking for a Crescent Guard, maybe exhaust. Nicely done by Supank, but it's not going to be enough to stop him. Icewing has barrier, but no flash. Can he take down the Corki? Needs a bit more. Needs an auto or two, but they aren't there. And DS Carry survives. Kuzu roams down. And the Kassadin Rift Walk will secure yet another kill in WA. Bot lane was their salvation early on, and this time it's their doom. And meanwhile, Mello again falls to Lupin's Cassante in top lane. And everything is looking like deja vu here. WA now down 3,000 gold. Yeah, they got the Drake, but they're dying across the map, and they've got to correct course fast. Void Grubs have spawned. Mather, flashless, will need a flag and drag to get out. It isn't there. Crescent Guard comes out from Euler fan. Just in case Ulfald looked for that final spark. But again, Foldmather dies. And again, it's going to mean more gold into the Doomscrollers' pockets. This time is Void Grubs. Supank is here mid, and both supports still level 5. The roams are going crazy. No experience for Supank and Kink My Boot. And should be okay here. Can grand entrance over the wall if he really needs to, and he doesn't. Void Grubs picked up 3-3, the score in that department between WA and DS. Icewing getting some solo gold here in bot lane as DS Carry is sitting up mid, and actually is going to be Kuzu who comes down bot. Kink My Boot is here. Supank will be looking, but Icewing has got to get out right now, and I don't think he has time. He does have flash. He might need to use it. Goes back towards the alcove. Supank is coming. Foldmather is coming. And flash burned by Icewing. Supank now here. Meanwhile, Mello versus Lupin is going about as it has been this series. Not well for WA's top laner. Still without an item. Well, Lupin in the same boat, but certainly with enough gold as soon as he does opt to reset. Pick one up. Drake will be spawning and could be the next target. There it is. Chemtech Drake. Foldmather is here looking for the Alistar. Level 6 for Supank, but not for Kink My Boot. Maybe something WA can exploit. Kuzu with the Rift Walk, though. Hard to choose the Kassadin as your target. In goes Euler fans. Supank with a grand entrance taking so much damage. The crowd control is too much. The ignite, the quickness burned by the Rakan, and it doesn't even matter. And WA caught roaming around the Drake. They lose their support, and now you question if they could even look to contest, if they even should. Foldmather wants to. They could make it 2 Drakes if he can steal. He's got to go in real soon. Kuzu interfering. 1615. Foldmather looking for the steal, and he does find it. Bullet time comes out, but no kills through the Crescent Guard of Euler fan. And it's a Foldmather for a Chemtech Drake. And you're probably okay with that, but losing Supank as well early on, I think DS is just as happy. Their gold lead is already grown to almost 5,000, and we're not even at 15 minutes. And flash there, burned by Mello. Just trying to avoid Lupin's tonfas. Still no turrets taken by DS, but could be what they look for next. Sure, Lupin taking a lot of turret shots there. Nicely done by Mello to make him do that. The challenge will be not getting overconfident with Euler fan hovering. Less bounce available for Mello, but so is all out for Lupin. And knowing how dangerous he can be with that ultimate against 3 enemies. I wonder how long Mello can survive. Let's Bounce does come out, all out. Returned, Mello flashless, trying to get back out with a slingshot, and he does. Goes back to this turret. He's got to clear out those minions. Nobody else here top lane. It's just a 1 versus 1. Kink My Boot still level 5. Supank has the flash. Quickness burn there. Carry Exhaust onto the Corki. Supang has got to get back out. Flashes away from the missile barrage. And the Rakan survives. Ice Wing flashless, has the barrier. Here comes Full Mather. Kuzu could be in trouble. Looking for a Cataclysm. Rip brought back away. Full Mather flashing into the Krugs. Kick by Boot knocked up by the Great Entrance. Final Spark is big for Wolffold to take down the Alistar. Somehow our Jarvan's still alive. Finally falls. Crescent Guard, though, might still die. They're trying to slow him. Lupin is coming in. Supank, a little bit more damage. Ice Wing trying to take down this Ins out. He does. Meanwhile, loses his support. Oh, again! The bullet time comes out, but not too much here. And under the turret goes Ice Wing. Ulfald, does he have a good light binding in? DS carry is staying mid. And Ice Wing under the turret, he stays. Does DS threaten that dive? Kuzu kind of wants to. Ice Wing should really walk up, get a couple autos, make sure this Kassadin cannot threaten it. He's just charging up the Riftwalk right now. Ulfald trying to get to his AD carry to try to forestall this dive, but he can't get past this Cassante, and now still Ice Wing is not recalled, and now it's Lupin who can tank Ice Wing flashless, has the barrier. Final Spark is going to hit 2. Ice Wing under the turret still falls. It's Kuzu, kill number 4. And WA not able to protect Ice Wing there. That's 13-5 in favor of the Doomscrollers in a game 2 that WA has to win, and it's rapidly slipping out of their grasp. Rift Herald available for Euler Fan, maybe could be his next target. Kick my boot finally has the unbreakable will. And 3 of the 5 kills that the Warriors of Æsir have are on this Alistar. They've not found a way, to kill any of these carries. The Cassante, the Kassadin, and the Corki, all with healthy bounties. Targets, sure, for WA, but also just shows how strong they are right now, and they're just continuing to scale. Things are just getting worse for WA right now. This Rift Herald, they just can't even get in. It's going to go the way of the Doomscrollers, and they use that effectively. It's only going to make this gold lead worse. Kuzu with a Rift Walk. Maybe looks for a turret dive here, but takes a few too many turret shots. And Ulfald didn't have the flash. Although he didn't find the light binding, he does catch Kuzu overextending here. Here comes Cold Mather finding a Euler Fan. DS carry back towards the turret. Kuzu healing up, coming in, looking for the Jarvan. And in goes the Xin Zhao. Supank quickness onto no one. And he will evacuate the area. Mello still defending this turret as best he can. Elastic slingshot in, and again he makes Lupin take a lot of turret shots all out. Lupin, though, takes Mello away from the turret, and a couple more autos will proc that passive, which the Cassante has had no issues burning through, and he does for the 3rd time this game, and the 4th kill onto Lupin. Final Spark comes out from Wolfball just to try to keep that wave pushed out in bot lane. Mello won't be up for 20 seconds. The Ocean Drake already here. WA has got to make a decision here to try to contest this Drake 4v4. Maybe at least get Lupin to teleport in, but no, they're not even able to do it. The Rift Herald bot lane, the Cassante top lane, the Ocean Drake. WA just can't play defense on all fronts, and they wind up giving up everything. This gold lead 7,500 with the Baron not even spawned, and Lupin keeping up the pressure. Teleports in. Ulfald could be in trouble here. Flashless trying to get away. Ignite onto this Lux, but he will fall, and it's Kuzu with kill 5. And Lupin just messing with Supank at this point, and almost can threaten a turret dive. Supank with the quickness, with the exhaust. But no, it's Euler Fan coming in, looking for the Rakan, who could be the target. Nice footwork there to dodge away from the Xin Zhao. Bullet time is big. Cataclysm. There's the combo. WA has been trying to set it up. But at this point, DS is so tanky, they can't even get the kill. Ice Wing is working with a Bloodthirster and a half a Serelda's, or maybe a Lord Doms. We'll see. Fortunately for the Warriors of Ice here, again and again, they just can't find any kills in these fights. And it might be too late now, down 9,000. Yes, they've got 2 Drakes thanks to Foldmather's heroic steal. That is a small consolation. A reminder, this is the playoffs. They have to win this game too. Again, Mello falling here to Lupin. One of the recurring stories of this series, and this Cassante still has not really done that much as far as fighting the rest of WA, but we saw how badly that went in game 1 for the Warriors of Æsir. Balled again, taking so much damage here from Kuzu. Foldmather trying to run interference. Ice Swing going back away from the Corki. Can't dodge the Missile Barrage and dies. It's 2 kills served up to DS Carry. And Foldmather falling as well. Supank, a grand entrance back towards his own turret. But these last few minutes, WA needed everything to go right. And DS to make several massive missteps, and it just didn't happen. Gold lead is exploding by the minute here, and WA has no answers. DS has all but punched a ticket to the next round of the playoffs in a 2-0 victory. We'll simply hope WA somehow can at least prolong this game a little bit. Looking for Lupin, all out available to help him get away. Everything from WA being thrown at this Cassante. Bullet time comes out, teleport coming in, still Lupin alive. They cannot kill him with 5 people. A light binding, a final spark. Still, finally, he's shut down by Mello. And Lupin, a capstone performance in that fight. Yes, he died. But it tells the story of this entire series. Lupin on the Cassante has been absolutely unstoppable, unkillable. And across the rift, WA has simply not had anything go right for more than maybe half a team fight occasionally. Thanks to those early Drake takes that they've been prioritizing throughout Game 1 and Game 2. They don't have to worry about a Dragon's Soul, but the Doomscrollers are in control of everything else. Supank, so much damage from DS Carry, a little bit more will take him down. Foldmather and Opal arrive, but too late, and now the Lux could be the next target. Flashless. Foldmather will fall, burning down to DS Carry. Final spark. The damage, though, just not quite enough. Flash from Eulerfan, the light binding. Opal just trying to hold DS at bay. Mello is here as well, but the damage is massive here from the Xin Zhao. Kuzu stacking up the Rift Walk. A little bit more out of the Xin Zhao could take him down, but there's no more damage to be had. Wolffold's final spark will be up soon. Maybe he can look for a heroic snipe here to find 1 or 2 kills, but as he waits for that cooldown, inhibitors fall in mid lane, a turret in top, and Lupin stands with a full health bar that WA simply cannot get through. And again, WA looks for Lupin. I wonder if they even want to. I mean, Lupin will be looking for a kill. He goes all out. Icewing maybe his target. The Bloodthirster could help the Misfortune heal up. But does he have the time? In comes Ulfald, the final spark. They still need more damage. Lupin is healing. It's out of control. Cataclysm, the bullet time, out of reach. And Lupin is looking for the entire team. He's still knocking them up. He's still all out. The exhaust from Supank, the Cataclysm, a couple more auto attacks. The shields are here and DS has arrived. Lupin cannot die. Finally, Full Nether with a kill. But WA, it took them an eternity to kill this Cassante. And everyone but Icewing dies as a result. And for Lupin, this feels like a co-op versus AI game right now. Flash from Kink My Boot to take down Icewing, who just wanted to at least kill a Corki. Save some dignity for the Warriors of Æsir, but there is none to be had. And WA will fall in a devastating 2-0 to the Doomscrollers, who head to round 2. And for WA, that will conclude their adventure in style esports for this split. Sadly, they will not be moving on in the playoffs. And there's not much to say except a very tragic series for them. And a dominant performance from Team DS. Once again, Ulfald taking the lead here in the damage department, but Lupin with 34.5 thousand single-handedly devastating WA in 1 versus 4s, 1 versus 5s, let alone the 1 versus 1s there in top lane. Kuzu and DS carry deathless. And in 26 minutes, WA falls in game 2. With that, we will unfortunately sign off on a very somber note. Thank you to all of our viewers, and we'll hope perhaps next scrim, next tournament, next league, next playoffs, WA can improve on the results here. But that being said, that will do it from us. Have a good night.